Grand Rising, greetings. Welcome to everyone. You are tuned in to the Peak Wellness Hour. Where y'all been? Where have we been? We've been MIA for most of May. Was here last week, but now we've got the team together. We're so excited to be here. It's a holiday weekend, and you are spending time with us, and we're so excited for that. So we want you to grab a pen and paper. Today we're talking about menopause. Menopause, and I have a feeling this is going to be a great conversation. Queen Edith wanted to talk about this, and we're going to do it. I know it's going to be awesome. So you all stay tuned, grab pen and paper. We're about to get started. All right. Yes, welcome to the Peak Wellness Hour. We've got my computer's frozen here. Hang on. I was going to share the comments, but they're stuck. Thank you. If you're here, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please do so. We're going to have a great conversation. I've got my queen, Aunt Gloria Carter, here with Be a Glow Ministries. Grand Rising to you. So glad you're here. We're actually delayed. I'm going to blame you, Queen Aunt. We're actually delayed because we were invited, Queen Edith and I, to an amazing conversation this morning. And so we wanted to definitely be a part of that. So thank you, Queen Gloria Carter, for inviting us to that. We've got Crystal, my queen sister, Crystal, here. Real estate agent in Indiana. Check her out at Crystal S. Thomas on Facebook. And then we have Queen Kathy B with the United Empires of Akibalon. No, you did not miss us. So glad. Again, Queen Gloria Carter had us tied up with some amazing information. Then we have my Queen Mother popping in, Grand Rising Queen. So glad you all are here, ladies and gentlemen. If you are here, stay for the conversation. We're talking about menopause, but this affects everyone, not just women. It affects our families. It affects our work life. It affects a lot of things that we do as our bodies change. As we get older, we grow wiser, and we gain some things, we lose some things. So we're going to talk about it here today. But I'm going to stop talking for a moment, because you all have not seen Queen Edith. And I've been MIA also the first 2 weeks. But Queen Edith has been on a mission, doing all sorts of amazing things. Last week, I told you all that she had a graduation ceremony. So she was away for that. So everybody congratulate her in the chat. Send her some love. She has graduated with her marriage and family, and what is it?
Marriage and
family and marriage.
MFT, marriage and family therapy or counseling.
Got it. Yes. So, yes, congratulations to you. Can't wait to see what you're going to do with that.
I can't wait to see.
So, Queen, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I've missed this platform. I think the whole of May I've been gone. It started towards the end of April. I think I was in Canada, and then I was in Maryland, and then I was in Kentucky, and now I'm here. I'm right here almost every weekend. out of me. And I'm hate to announce this, but I might be gone again next Saturday. Uh, but I'll be here in June. I promise. I'll be here full of June. But I take this opportunity to wish every father a happy every mother a happy Mother's Day. I think I missed it. I know that you all had an amazing time. Queen, I hope you had a great time. I think that was the day after my graduation.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an awesome walk. I am so grateful I took the opportunity to do it because when I graduated from my bachelor's, I didn't work. And I told myself if I ever go back to school and I graduate, I will work. So I'm glad I did. It was a very surreal time in my life. In the beginning, I got emotional because I got reminded of the journey, and it was not. Looking at everything that was going on in my life at the time, it was not the ideal time to start school, let alone start a business. But I pushed, and here we are. It's done. But today we are here to
Yes.
talk about menopause. Thank you, Queen aunts, Queen mothers, Queen sisters, Queen cousins, and all the kingdom royal people and the kings that have backed us. Thank you so much. We're almost to the half of 2026. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Over time, one of the things that I have come across in my field as a pastor, as a counselor, and is I didn't even know it was menopause. As much as it's known, it's a knowledge out there, menopause. Women go through menopause. When you're going through it yourself, you don't even realize you're going through menopause. Your spouse does not realize that you're going through menopause. Okay, but they notice the change. They notice there's some people, some family members or some spouses become frustrated because why is she doing this? She's so changed, and why is she behaving that way? So I feel like celebrating women this month, it's a worthy topic to touch on and to start the conversation going because a lot of divorces happen when women are going through menopause. A lot. For lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. We think this woman has changed, and the changes are gradual. Okay, they come so gradually, and people begin to get tired just because they don't understand. There's a need for education. So this topic has been on my heart, and I felt like Women's Month or the month of May, celebrating women, will be a great time to discuss. So I brought it to Chris' attention, and she agreed. We've touched on it, but I don't think we went into details to the point that we mentioned that even men have their kind of a midlife crisis. They may not call it menopause, but they have that kind of midlife crisis as well. So if you're a husband, if you're a father, if you come here, if you have a sister, if you have a mother, if you have a wife, come in. This conversation is for all of us, is to educate us. Queen.
I love it. I don't even know where we should start with this conversation. There's so much we can dive into. Something I want to mention is paying, and like Queenie have said, paying attention to your body, watching those different changes, those different cues. A lot of times, I know for me, um,
Can
growing
I
up as
save
a
you a minute to make it easier for us? Let's ask the first question. What is menopause?
mm-hmm. Yep. That's what I was gonna say. Growing up for me, it was just a matter of, it was menopause, hot flashes. Menopause, no more periods. And there's never really, we don't have discussions like that in depth. Even as we get older, when we're younger, we have conversations about menstrual cycles with our daughters, or whatnot. But then as we grow older, now we've dealt with these menstrual cycles. Where's the conversation amongst women, amongst healthcare providers that are educated in the matter to talk about those, what that looks like ahead of time, and not where it's something so drastically horrible. How do we get through this thing as a part of life, and grow from that? So go ahead, menopause, talk about it.
Yeah, you're right. All we knew about menopause is hot flashes, which is a symptom of menopause, right? So it is
Mhm.
it is a hormonal thing. Women go through a lot of hormonal changes. Okay, from a young girl, you go through having a menstrual cycle, right? You guys, maybe your mothers talk to you about menstrual cycles. My mother never did. I
Mhm.
had no clue or no idea. To go back, I remember it was what we call long vacation, but here is the summer vacation, when you're beginning going to go into the next class, right? Or next grade. You're going to the next grade. And so it was the summer, fall, before the fall semesters, fall, whatever. And I remember very well, I was at home, my parents had traveled. I was sitting there. I was an avid reader. I read anything and everything. So I was just sitting at home comfortably reading a book. Then I got up. I felt like I needed to use the bathroom. So I got up and somebody said, "You have blood on your dress." Okay. Did I sit on anything?
Mhm.
Well, went, changed my clothes, used the bathroom, realized that okay. So well, I don't want to go into all those details yet. I changed and I sat down again and it happened. And I'm like, what did I do wrong?
Mhm.
I had no clue. Okay, what did I do wrong? My mother comes home, we talk about it. And the first thing my mother says to me, this thing that has happened to you, if you play with boys, you will die. May God rest her soul. That,
Oh, hey.
and this is, I was not even 10 years old. So just imagine this. If you play with boys, I have two brothers. I have lots of male cousins. Okay. I have what do you call it? I'm in a mixed school. Okay, because in Ghana we have boys school, we have girls school, we have mixed schools. I was in a mixed school. So what do you mean if I play with boys, I will die? Well, so lack of education has been an issue, and I have to say this. I don't
Mhm.
think I have or anybody took the time to educate me or on menopause. I didn't realize when I was on menopause until I was called all kinds of names. So menopause is a biological and hormonal transition for every woman who is blessed and privileged to live beyond a certain age.
Mhm.
I know there is a particular age, maybe from early 40s, mid 40s through the 50s. But some people have it earlier and some people have it later. There are exceptions, like people think you have your first period maybe 12, 13 age. I had it at the age of 9. I think
Mhm.
it shook my mother. She's got scared. She got scared because if my daughter at 9 is doing this, it means she can't get pregnant. So
Mhm.
out of fear, she made that statement because she didn't know how to have that conversation with me. Okay. And so lack of education, and many women our age, 45 to 55 range, many women our age have not taken the time. And the interesting part is that whilst they're going through it, they don't realize it.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you, Queen Ant. So many people reduce menopause to jokes of hot flashes. Ooh, the winter time, you're standing out there, half naked, the fresh air going on your face. Somebody, and I'll say it, my ex-husband called me a witch, a menopausal witch, during the time of menopause. Okay, he didn't know it, he didn't understand it. I feel like he knew it, but of course, if you're abusive, you say all kinds of things to hurt people. But it occurs when a woman's reproductive hormones, especially they call estrogen or progesterone. I'll let Queen, the nurse, explain those better. Okay, begin to significantly shift and decline. So these hormones move, they are not, you don't produce as much anymore, because once again you're no more in the reproductive
Mhm.
stage. And I will say this, people are having children at the age of 50 and 60 and whatnot. I'm just saying that generally speaking,
Mhm.
you are not considered to be in what you call it, to be in the reproductive season of your life. So certain hormones begin to minimize, and the impact of that, it's what begins the symptoms of menopause. I'll let Queen continue.
Mhm. No, you're fine. Good, very good points. Something we don't think about. So with menopause, we are talking about that, but we don't think about two other things. We don't think about perimenopause and postmenopause.
Okay.
You know, um, so we think that this thing just hits and now you're in menopause, but it says usually about in your 40s, you start noticing changes, maybe late 30s, right? So and those symptoms can last anywhere from 2 to 10 years before menopause actually sets in. Where you have postmenopause, where all these things just kind of settle down, but you still have these symptoms. They may improve after some time, but you still have these symptoms because, like you said, the lack of hormones, and those are things that you cannot. Uh, you have to restore in your body. You have to balance those things out in your body. So when we're at that point, at postmenopause or even menopause, don't look at it like it's this point in time and then it's done. The hot flashes will stop, this will stop, because now you're looking at things like your heart health, your cognition, your brain health. We're looking at bone density. As we get older, if you can't keep falling. I remember the first time as an adult that I can recall that I fell a few years ago. I'm like, how did this happen? What is happening? I'm a grown woman that has been walking since age whatever. Why am I falling? As we get older, though, that those falls cause break joint fractures, serious injuries. So these are things that we have to think about. When we're talking about weight gain, are we exercising? The bloating, are we eating proper foods? So when we're looking at this process and our point in life as women, part of that conversation and education needs to be prepping ourselves for how we eat, what we put in our bodies now, how our routine looks now. Are we walking, daily? Are we doing 5 to 10 minutes of exercises? Are we doing deep breathing? Are we meditating or praying or, you know, taking time for self, unwinding, finding that those stress-free moments, living a stress-free life so that when these things hit, we handle them different. Think about, sexual changes. Like the Queen Eva said, and I never really thought about that with the divorce and that time period with menopause. I've never really thought about that, but you know, when are we having conversations with our partners about our sexuality? You know, and having that understanding. If you've been married for 10, 15 years and you have an issue saying what you do and don't like when you're intimate with your partner, then how are we talking about vaginal dryness and decrease in libido when we're going through menopause? So those are things to think about when we talk about the conversations to have, and just prepping for that. And like I said, not like it's a doomsday kind of thing, because it is a natural part of life that we go through. We all go through as women. So how do we deal with that in a healthy manner? Um, Queen Gloria has she listens to a podcast. You got to put that in the chat, that you listen to. Aunt Gloria. I'm gonna let her do that. I'm gonna go through these messages. Go ahead and talk, Queen. I'm gonna read these messages.
Okay, because I saw her write something that when you have gone 12 months without a cycle, without having a menstrual period, you've entered menopause, right? But the other thing is that even prior to that 12 months, you have this, like you said, perimenopause, where you sometimes you have it every month, and sometimes you go 3 months and not have it, and sometimes you go 4 months, and sometimes you're having it twice a month, and it is ridiculous and it's crazy. And because these things determine our hormonal balances, and like Queen G said, sometimes it takes between 8 to 10 years. So in all these years, you are changing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
something is changing, you're becoming different. That is why it's so important that you can't assume you know somebody so well, especially as women, because we are transforming, hormonal changes, okay? And because these things are hormonal changes, it affects a lot of things in your body. Number one, your sleep. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, your sleep, you don't sleep well. 1 minute you're hot, and that we all know about the hot flashes, right? I mean, 1 minute you're, I remember very well where sometimes I'm so cold and I want the blanket, and suddenly I'm kicking the off your body. Makes no sense in a matter of 5 minutes. Okay, your mood, the mood swings, the mood changes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and people don't understand, we don't have education.
Mm-hmm.
So everything, suddenly my wife is this person that I don't even recognize anymore. Okay, memory, you think it's deliberate. You think it's, I call it, what do I forgotten the name I call it, selective amnesia, right? You deliberately, you are selective about what you want to remember, what you don't, but it's real.
Mm-hmm.
It's so real. If you have a mother, you have a sister, you think, I just told you this 5 times. We
Mm-hmm.
just talked about this. Please be patient and watch. Okay. Emotional regulation. We can't easily regulate the emotions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Concentration, ability to stay concentrated and focused. Anxiety levels change. Your energy, oh my God, the energy level, okay? Your body temperature, libido. Your libido is affected, emotional sensitivity. So just this, everything I've listed and more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you are married, okay, and you don't take the time to figure out what's going on with her, okay, you're not thinking, the doctor hasn't said anything, you probably haven't described the symptom, you don't know, you assume that this woman is becoming something. Who did I marry? And in this time when you need love and true support, you don't get it, and you're becoming frustrated. And this cycle, lack of knowledge, is impacting you. Your sleep pattern is a mess. You can't remember. You're irritable, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't understand what's going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when a woman says, I don't feel like myself anymore, I don't feel like me today, you have to, as a spouse, as a friend, as a family, if she's alone, she's alone. But if you're a spouse, then you have to sit down and talk about the symptoms and talk to your doctor and figure out ways to support each other. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that you're going to put your marriage at a place where you find out that by the time you reach post menopause, the relationship is all messed up because you didn't get the support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, Queen, I'll let you continue.
I love it. I'm reading Gloria's comments. We should bring her on.
Oh, and she wrote some. What was the last comment before I forget?
That's why when you're talking, I'm cracking up because
Okay,
she
hold
is
on. She said,
hilarious.
before then, I want to tackle that. Before then, there was something. Yes,
Which one?
she said, but I don't know. Okay, okay.
Hold on.
Queens and Gloria, you wanna come? Let me see. If you have changes in your reproductive areas, as if you had surgery to remove an ovary, or then you can already have been pushed into early. So look at all these things that's going on with the woman. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
having surgery, some the reproductive organs, something has been impacted. They can enter into menopause. Those women don't even get the privilege of having those perimenopausal symptoms, the 8 to 10 years that will prepare them at least to a certain extent. They don't get it. They just pushed into it and have no idea. And these women may be raising little kids. So it becomes very, very difficult dealing with kids, probably dealing with a spouse or being a single mother, angry, irritated, all over stress. It raises stress level. Okay, it raises stress levels. And she's right. I did not. I said it earlier. I had no, in fact, for some time I thought I was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I kept doing buying these pregnancy kits and checking it, and it was negative, and I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. So she said her husband, right? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'll let you continue.
No, I didn't. Go ahead.
No, no, I'll let you because when you don't know, you can't resolve it. And in this
Mm-hmm.
season, in that season, it is necessary that a woman has the right support. If you have a husband, then he probably, if you don't know what's going on and he doesn't know,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then how do you handle it? Go to the doctor and tell them the symptoms, and they'll begin to educate you. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not only hard on the women, it's also hard on the men when you're pushing the blankets away and take that blanket off of me and take your hand off of me and all that situation. He
Mm-hmm.
feels rejected and unwanted. And he's
Mm-hmm.
sitting in the house afraid to talk to you, not knowing when you're gonna go crazy or you're gonna, because he doesn't understand. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
this is a very important thing. What
Mm-hmm.
is menopause and how do we handle it? How is it affecting my wife? How is it affecting me as a single woman? How is it affecting my mother? And how do we come together as a family to support the
Mm-hmm.
woman of the house? Queen.
Absolutely. I know. Hang on. Gloria, you can click the link if you want to join this conversation. I know, like here recently, um, like with my menstrual cycles, just kind of changing, and it's like at first it was, like, on the 20th, then it started, on the 18th and on the 15th, just watching different changes. I noticed that, we've gone for so many days now, it's 2 or 3 days, and that's when I started paying attention. I'm like, okay, so here's something's coming along, something's gonna happen, and just talking to my husband, my king, I'm like, I think I'm going through perimenopause. He's like, no, no, no. And I felt a certain kind of way. He wasn't saying no like in a disrespectful way, but it's like, I'm telling you this thing that's unfamiliar to me that I have to prep for, that I am right now finishing up this 2-day menstrual cycle and I'm having to rationalize this. And what I don't want to do is argue about what my body is going through, and again, no shade to him, but just having again, women having those conversations coming up, Queen Ot, having those conversations. Look how she look beautiful, y'all.
Hey, Queen Glory. You guys,
Hey,
I love how you
Queen.
do your makeup. I'm coming to school.
That's why I don't have makeup on today, but that's why I started doing my makeup like that because of her. That's why I started doing that, because she does her makeup like that.
I think I need to get contact so I can see eyeshadows. I can't
Okay.
see my face
See.
today.
Blessings to you, Queens. I was blowing up the platform so much. I said, okay,
Like, come
Queen,
on,
come
come
just
on.
bring me on up. Because it is, you are talking my life right now. And it's
Right,
just
right,
hilarious.
and right, right. And what I have here is that it's not only physical, then now it becomes emotional.
It does. It does. It does. Especially when we talk about me and my husband are transitioning at the same time, and it is just like all out war. But but it's a good war because we understand each other. When you begin to understand what's going on with you, but it changes every day. I mean, and then some of the things that you find out, it's like this is equated with menopause. Really, really. You wake up. They have a thing called a minute. When you go through menopause, it's called a pinched nerve by menopause. And I
Okay.
am experiencing this right now. And I kept saying, what is going on with my arm? I was working out and it was just like, I felt like my arm had popped out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. And when I checked into it, they said, no, it takes about 3 years. It'll go away, but it's due to menopause. I said, you got to be kidding me.
Talk to me about this. Where else does it hit? Because I've got a back brace on right now. I got
Oh
this
yeah, oh
back
yeah, different areas. You have to find out where. Yes, it is nerve endings due to menopause, and so yeah, we can do it another time study on that. But yes, look at it, and it's so I know Crystal's gonna get me later, but I use her as the poster child for period. I mean premenopause, because every time she was complaining about all this pain and things that she was having, and I would tell her it's you're perimenopause, because you have to remember sometimes we get kicked into menopause, especially if you have had any other problems, female problems, where you've had to have your ovaries removed or a ovary. If you have had a miscarriage, sometime that kicks you into menopause or perimenopause. Also, life changes. I tell you, when my husband lost his mother, he transitioned. And I had to say, what is going on? His T cells was going everywhere and everything was going on. And I had to actually go and talk to a nutritionist because I was like, he is just not coming out of this. And so we got on a podcast before and talked about it as husband and wife, how to transition together. And I'm sure he doesn't mind me talking about it because it was a transition. And we had to start making sure we was taking vitamin E, vitamin D.
Oh, no, light.
Our nutrition had to change. Um, I tell you, for me, you could strike a match, because of vaginal dryness. And it's just, it doesn't always happen, and each person's different. But I had to find out what was going on for me, to help level that. And so finding your levels is very important, and having somebody, a good healthcare system to help you identify your different problems. And after a while, you can identify them. When I first started menopause, I broke out really bad, and I was like, "What's going on?" So I had went to the dermatologist because it was not going away. It started off with a small spot on my leg, and they had did a I did this by myself. They had to do a biopsy and everything, and I wasn't telling anybody because I was scared I got skin cancer or something. I didn't want to tell nobody. And the dermatologist came in the room and said, Miss Carter, you have eczema from the onset of menopause. I said, I have what? And they said, apparently you have had uh, eczema as a child and has reoccurred through menopause. And I said, well, how long will it last? He said, just you have to stay up on it. You don't know where it's going to pop up yet. 1 year's on my back, 1 year's on my legs, 1 year's on my arms. You never know. And I would have to warn my husband, okay, you might see a spot, and we have to, deal with it. And I found a good product, and we can talk about that another time, and a good tea to help me. And I'm gonna tell you, it's so much. God has made so much natural things for us that we don't have to go nuts. We just have to balance. Like Queen Edith has said, we have to have balances in our life. Okay, if you know you have hot flashes, guess what you can't be doing? A lot of caffeine, a lot of chocolate, all those things. You got to know what brings on your hot flashes and eliminate them. For me, I went cold. So I'm in the 3 percentile that goes cold. I don't have hot flashes. And it's worse when you're cold because it's cold to the bone. You can do something about how you take off your clothes and you can get through it. But when you cold and you got like 10 layers on the earmuffs in July and people are like, what's wrong with you? You're physically showing people that you're going through. I have an aunt that walks around. She wears her coat all year round because most of the people in my family, we went cold. But the attitude, all those things you have to, your meditation has to ramp up. You know, you get short tempered. You have to check yourself. What's going on with me? Like Queen Eater said, you can go to 0 to 10. Just if somebody look at you wrong. Oh, you got a problem? Oh, I can give you a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna look at me crazy, let me give you something to look at me crazy about. You know, so we have to check ourselves, especially with people that are close to us. You know, I always say, now, here's the funny. This is why I said bring me on the stage today, because I wanted to share y'all a funny story. My mother, our late Queen Mother Ruth Seabury, had the gall to call my husband when I found out I was going through menopause. She took it upon herself to call my male family to let them know that I was going through menopause. Okay, didn't give me a chance to tell them anything. She said, "Now this is what you're supposed to expect out of your mother and your wife." But I never knew. It blessed me. So Queen Edith, when you was talking about your mother didn't tell you anything, women, tell your daughters, tell your sons. When you go through, I had a problem telling my sons I was on my cycle. I was thinking they wouldn't understand. What it wasn't until one of my sons got in trouble at school because they were writing poems and little jingles, and he was in a group, and it was only one girl in the group, and she said, let's talk about tampons. It said, Tampac pearls that make you want to Earl. Okay. And the teacher laughed, but then she realized she had to call a family meeting with the families because she couldn't let this go, because when the other students were finding out, they were making, being funny about it. Then I realized I hadn't even talked to my son. Because I said, do you even know what a Tampax is? He said, no, what is it? And I was like, oh, Lord. So I had to apologize because, he would have avoided that situation had I not talked to him. And so queens, kings, talk to our children, talk to our young people. We think we just tell them about the facts of life and that's it, but we don't want to tell them our facts.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you will lose bodily functions in menopause. You sneeze the wrong way and it is what it is. I know, knock on all the way, and so, and you can't explain that to people. Then you have people who are fighting and getting divorced, like you said, and not recognizing they just need to have a sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Or when we say men are transitioning, they go get a new woman, a new model that they can't keep up with, a new car that they can't pay a payment on, and all this stuff. Women, we just lash out or withdraw because we're embarrassed. Because menopause do bring on some embarrassments.
It does. And you know what? We're going through a lot of stress level. And now you're gaining weight. All this cortisol, you're gaining weight. You're doing anything, you're eating right. And God for I'm the one to say, but if you have a husband and who doesn't care as much, they begin to body shame you. Okay, you're going out, you can't find anything to wear. So that the emotional strain, and then it transfers to the people who you love, who live with you in the house, because you don't know what else to do. You don't know. The key is we don't know what's happening to us. Okay,
And let's
so
talk
we
about
are
chin hairs for a minute. Chin hairs. I'm losing hair and getting chin hairs. Come on, really? And then I get in the car one day. My husband said, you didn't take care of this today." I'm like, "Let me tell you something. Bring that up one more time. Let me tell you, ain't nobody talking about your chin hairs. Leave mine alone. If the makeup ain't covering it today, I can't do nothing about it. I just can't. I just can't. So now I have to have tweezers in every car because in the sunlight it's different in the mirror. All these things. And it's like, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and so we have to take it on, but we don't have to wear it like a badge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And be at ease with yourself. Allow ourselves to have grace,
Mm-hmm.
because
Absolutely.
that's the part. Sometimes we don't, and now I'm getting teary eyed. We don't allow ourselves grace,
Mm-hmm.
and to be like, Lord, how long? And then I always say, when I get to heaven, I'm gonna slap the mess out of Eve because I just feel like, we go through this, but give yourselves grace. And it's hard to do that. It's very hard. But yes, Queen Edith, especially to you, I'm really talking to you today. I don't know why, but I am. Give yourself some grace.
Mm.
hmm Go in the
Mm-hmm.
room. Sometimes shut the door. When you know when you're having a flare up. You do.
Yeah.
Not in everything, but certain situations, because you visit. If they pop off on me today, I'm gonna let them have it. Go
Mm-hmm.
go go to your neutral corner. Have some herbal tea. Get
Mm-hmm.
your black pepper that you love so much. You know, have a moment. Allow yourself to have your moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then come out with a smile or a frown or whatever you have to do to get through. But
Mm-hmm.
allow yourself to process. It took me 3 years to understand my eczema and get on top of it.
Mm.
And I would just cry. I couldn't, I could go out.
Can
It
you
used to be, I could,
imagine the emotional strain that puts you having eczema? If God forbid it's on your face, then now you're
oh, it
seeing
came up on my
flying
face last
around.
year.
You have to
Yeah.
find makeup to
Yes.
cover it. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
lot on
It's
our
a lot.
brains. It's a lot. Okay.
It's
You
a
get
lot.
sad, you are irritable, you are sensitive, anxiety is over the roof, and emotional exhaustion. Meanwhile, at the same time, you have children, especially if you start early, you have children you have to care for, you have to show up with that smile.
You still got
And
to be in the room. You still got to be in the room. Still
Mm-hmm.
got to be in the room. Isn't that something? You still got to show up.
Yeah.
Queen
That
Gloria,
part.
you said something, and I want to ask you. You said you had to transition together with your husband. Can you explain that a little further to the married couples who are listening, who are wondering, how do I transition with my wife? I'm not doing anything, I'm not going through anything right now. How do I transition with her? Could you give us a little more insight on how you guys did it?
You have to have an honest conversation. Those conversations that you don't want to have. Those ones where you just want to say, oh, just shut up. Just get out my way. You have to say, no, I'm having a moment. And oh my God, when I had to talk to him about, okay, all right, we'll just go there. He'll kill me later. But sexually, when I first had to say, hey, you can't come on me, bam, 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 no more. You ain't no bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. You gonna have to caress Gloria. You gonna have to hold her, and then realize I had to do the same thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
I had to allow him grace,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes he would be short tempered, and I'd be like, wait a minute, check yourself, And so I watched him, and that's when you have to become a praying wife, and you have to become a praying husband. You have to know them by the spirit as well as in the natural. And the key is to give each other, like I said, some grace. And it ain't gonna always happen pretty, but you have, like, sometimes we've had a intense fellowship, or what I call it intense fellowship or argument. And he can go to bed and wake up the next day and be like, good morning. Don't, hey, let me tell you something. Don't say good morning and you didn't say good night. Okay? Because he lives by the scripture, it's a brand new day, we're over. If I can just get through the night, hey, I can fight you all night and still make you breakfast. But don't say good night. Don't say good morning and you didn't say good night. Okay.
Mhm.
So we have learned how to have those conversations. And then we laugh at each other because we're like, this is ridiculous.
Mhm.
We're fighting over dumb stuff. It's never any big things. It's always those little foxes that spoil the vine.
Mhm.
And
And
so learning,
it looks like, if you don't mind my coming in a little bit,
no, no, anytime,
we are
interrupt
not
me.
blaming everything on menopause, but
We're
menopause
not.
magnifies things, right? It magnifies things. It makes it more pronounced because right now you're dealing with something more hormonally, emotionally, physically, okay, mentally or psychologically. You're dealing with
You
something.
just you just put the
You don't
magnifying glass
understand
under it.
you.
Hmm.
You don't
Yeah.
understand you. And that's
Mhm.
why what you say is so important. We need to know what is going on so we
In
can have the
every
conversation.
season, in every season, you should have know each other in every season. There's
Mhm.
transitions. When okay, you need to know each other in 4 seasons of life. There's springtime where everything's happy. We're in love. We spring it forth, we having children, all these things. Then there's fall. Everything is just falling, you know?
Menopause is falling.
Really? You know? Then there's winter when things are dormant. Things are dormant, you know? You got to know each other as married couples. You have to know each other every season of life and you have to adjust.
Mhm.
Okay? All right? Okay, 10 years ago, I wasn't as great. Okay? Um, 10 years ago, I wasn't this size. For me, I started losing weight in menopause, thought I was dying. I'm like, oh, I'm dying. I'm exercising and everything, but I'm like, and now if I look at a sandwich, I can blow up just looking at the bread. I gained 10 pounds looking at the bread. Can't even handle bread now. You know what I
Right,
mean? And you
right.
have to say, okay, honey, don't bring me another honey bun. I can't eat it.
Mhm.
And it's okay if I can't, if you can't, fine. But don't blame me if I can't.
Mhm.
Don't blame and don't put blame on one another, but
Mhm.
embrace one another. And
Mhm.
hey, you gotta let even as much as we love men, you gotta let them have their moment. But don't abuse it.
Mhm.
Because that's where people start pitching their tents towards Sodom. That's where most time if you see somebody having an affair or lose money or do something crazy in life is usually during these transitional times.
Right. And men, some men will go for younger women. Right.
Hmm. Okay,
Right.
you need to go for another woman.
But the
Okay, my
young
middle
will
name is
also
Michelle.
grow,
All right,
right?
I'll put on a wig and meet you at the hotel. There's your other woman. Okay,
But the
and I'll
challenge
do things that Gloria won't do, and I won't tell her. Okay,
But the
that,
challenge is Gloria is dry. Okay, so you're dealing with these vaginal dryness. I don't want to do this today. Okay, but the younger girl is more energetic, is more ready in terms of, and so they go for the easy. But what? Because they don't understand, they can't
Mhm.
appreciate. So it's so important that we have these conversations
yes,
now.
Mhm.
yes.
In the community, we have these conversations as women. Nobody is talking about menopause. We complain, oh, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. But the reality of menopause, that education is not out there.
And let me
Our
And you,
give you a
men
key.
don't
Let me
know.
give you a key to dryness because it's not just vaginal dryness. Your skin gets dry. Let me give
Mhm.
you one of the keys. Vitamin E, you guys, is a wonder.
Mhm.
It is a wonder. You can get it in drops. You can get it in suppositories. You can take it orally. It really,
Suppositories.
really helps.
Okay, all right.
It really does. It really
Mhm.
does. Go to natural things. Eat more leafy things. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, guess what? Your vaginal dryness you will get moisture back. It just takes a
Okra,
little bit more
okra
time.
too. I hear okra water.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And back in the day, and I know from African studies, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Queen Edith, that's what coconut oil, use a lot of coconut oil. It's good for. The
Mhm.
cocoa plant is very good. Okay. Um, there are I use a lot of vitamin E, and it did help me. Okay, and I have to say, okay, you have to ease with caution. But once you ease in, I'm there for you. Okay, but you got to ease with caution, you know. And when you're younger, you don't need as much foreplay. Have you noticed? You just want to jump
Oh
in and
yeah,
just do
yeah,
your thing. Just do
yeah,
your thing.
yeah. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
love me outside of the bedroom first. Same thing with men. They want to be loved. You know, the love affair should be outside the room. And then I seen a clip, and I have to get it to y'all. It's very old, but there was a minister, and she talked about caress your husband, caress your wife, and then treat it like church. Your legs are the outer court. You know, praise for the have praise with one another on the outer court. You know, and then be ready to receive him in and say, receive the man of God in this hour. It blessed my soul. It really did, because I wasn't receiving the man of God. I wanted to punch the man of God in this hour. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm
you
ready
know,
to box you. If you're a man, get here. I'll show you where power
Yeah.
is.
But you
so,
know what though? We're saying
but
all
be,
this, we're looking at these symptoms and and we're having a great time here, but we're looking at these things. And again, these are not things that we think about in detail. And so it is important to know your body. And it is important to you communicate that when you're talking to a physician, your healthcare providers,
Mm-hmm.
you have to communicate that, because what we're hearing here right now for somebody that's not going through this, it sounds like a whole lot of overload. It sounds like impending doom. But now you're looking at symptoms where you're going to the doctor. I don't know what's wrong. Weight loss, weight gain, hair falling. Now you're on antidepressants. And you ain't got no counseling or no therapy or no healing or no outlet. Now you're on antidepressants. Now you all the side effects from that, and all these different things when we're not addressing what it really is, and it's that
right.
menopause. And now you're being misdiagnosed, you're being undertreated,
That's
overlooked.
it.
Just another, especially with this platform, and this, we're always welcome. Anyways, always welcome to listen to this, but especially with Black women in the healthcare system, we are
Because we
it's
don't go to the doctor. We
downplay.
don't.
No, because it's downplay. Well, she's just crazy. She's just and it's
And you
just
don't want to be practiced. But let's be honest about that with Black women. We don't want to be practiced on either.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I
mm-hmm.
understand the stigma. I do.
Yes,
So
definitely.
let's keep that, real.
Mm-hmm,
But you do have to get in, ladies. You have don't suppress it.
mm-hmm,
Like you said, with suppress, you need to understand yourself, and you need to adjust accordingly. That's what gets us angry sometimes, because we like, well, I'm used to doing A, B, C, and D and getting results. Well, A, B, and C
It's not
has
bringing
skipped
that.
over D and has went to E, F, G. So you're not going to go the same way that you always have.
mm-hmm,
And that's called insanity, is it not?
It is. It really is.
mm-hmm,
Well, yeah, it feels and seems that yes, it is. It,
mm-hmm,
it it really is, and it's so. This is huge.
mm-hmm.
Okay, this
I
is so
appreciate
huge.
you both for doing this,
This
because
is
it's
so huge.
not being talked about.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
just glad that you even shared your experience about you being cold all the time and not having hot flashes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a young lady who works with me and she's been complaining about being cold, really cold. I'm like, and it's not that cold. That I'm cold. I'm really cold. But I'm beginning to think now that also
Mm-hmm.
could be a symptom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It is.
so these are some of the things. Sometimes it doesn't hit there and then. And like Queen is saying, it is not a terrible thing. Why are we embarrassed about talking about it? Why? It's part of our transition as women. You
Mm-hmm.
came with a menstrual cycle. It helps you with childbearing, okay, or childbirth and all of that. Now you're out of it. Now you're preparing towards not having a period. Your body is beginning to readjust itself. Certain hormones are not as active anymore. What do I do? How do I resolve it? Okay, progesterone, estrogen. Well, how do I replace it? What do I do? Queen Gloria shared a beautiful experience. Vitamin E. If she didn't come off, we didn't talk about it, we wouldn't know. Vitamin E and a couple of other vitamins. Now you got to check your what you're eating. Okay. Now this thing you used to do that way that worked, the way you came to me and I was all ready for you as my husband, you can't come that way anymore. Now we got to do a little more. We got to go a little extra. You got to love me outside. Got to be a little more patient with me and I with you. And if I'm not patient with you, or you are, please give me that minute, give me that moment. Let me recalibrate and get myself together because I need this moment. Why are we embarrassed? Where are we afraid? What is embarrassing about nature?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we
Right.
shaming each other? Yes, I'm having vaginal dryness. Use whatever it is, whether it's coconut oil, whether it's some oil, whatever it is, we need to get through this.
And don't be
I
Absolutely.
afraid
tell
to
you,
say it.
some women have the best sex in their lives during their menopause.
Um,
Because if
okay, let me clap
because
for the
at that
audience.
time,
Yes.
at that
Because you know what? Because you don't have to fake at it. You ain't fake it. You
you
don't have to
the beauty
you
about that age, you're not shy anymore. You're not shy anymore. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm not shy. I grew. I'm old enough.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to
I've
plan
earned
by
the
a calendar.
painting.
I don't have to plan by a 21-day calendar. You know?
I've earned the
Yeah.
right to speak my mind now. So we are not afraid. We are not inhibited. Take it or leave it as it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So
you
there are
know.
good things about menopause. I think I had my best time during my menopause. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. And so my point is there are great things about it, but the key is have the knowledge, know what is going on. You may not know
Yes.
all the intricacies of what's going on, but you have an idea that this is menopause. Queen G is a nurse and she knew, she kind of knows, she has an idea, so she's able to bring the conversation up, and that
Yeah,
is what will help us in the season. Have
it
that
will. And talk to the little girl in you. The little
mm,
girl is trapped sometimes. Talk to her. Go get her and tell her we're in a different season of life. Embrace that girl. Call her by name. Stand in the mirror and look at that girl and be okay with her. Don't medicate her. Don't drink her to death. Don't smoke her to death. You know,
don't
don't hide
suffocate
behind the
it.
mask. Don't hide behind the mask. Take the mask and the limitations off. Isn't it strange that we just now in our menopause seasons, knowing who we are, we getting degrees. We going back in businesses and stuff.
You
You
come
know,
into
how, you know what? How
yourself.
come I couldn't have did this in my 20s when I had the energy and when I thought? But you're more appreciative now because God has helped you get through this where you wouldn't have got through it with you and your attitude even 10 years ago.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Lord, I'm too old. Why in the world you got me writing a book and doing crazy stuff that I should have did 10 years ago? He said, but you know what? Would you have received it better? Would you have been more appreciative?
No,
No, we would have been conquerors
no,
because
no.
we were made to conquer over, and we would have just hopped over and not been appreciative. Appreciate your time. And I believe, God will meet us and you. If you notice, the most beautiful women is when they have aged like fine wine.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because you come into yourself. You get to a place where you know you. And I tell people look at me and they say, "You are so strong. You know who you are. You're doing this." And I said, it took over 50 years for me to get to know me, to get here to the point that I'm resilient and all of that stuff. Something shifts. So, like I said, there is it's not bad. It's the lack of information, lack of
Right.
education that is making us and our spouses go through what we go through. Okay, bringing a whole lot of conflict because I don't feel like it. You will not push me around. I know who I am.
That one.
I am
That one.
ready to speak the truth to you. There was a time I might have been afraid of losing you, but I ain't afraid anymore. Let's speak the truth as it is. You have to learn to embrace the woman that I am becoming after
Mhm.
having your kids.
That's it.
Because we are becoming, nobody has arrived. Even the men have their midlife crisis. So they have to go and test out there to see whether they're still men. You know what I mean? They go do it without knowledge. And then you bring trouble.
And I remember a comedian saying a long time ago, "You need a woman who can recognize the signs of stroke. So go on and get you a young woman and see if she can recognize when you having a fit. Where this seasoned woman you been with for over 35 years can recognize when you having. I can get you to the hospital,
Mhm.
or say I got something for you." Okay, the woman who recognized that you was having a transition and got the things that you needed to get through it.
Mhm.
So that's the caring woman, and having healthy boundaries.
Oh my, oh my.
I didn't think there was a such thing, but you know what? I'm like you know what? Everybody can't come in my door. You
Mhm.
just cannot. And when I mean the door, I mean the door of my heart. Doesn't the Bible clearly say, "Guard your heart with all diligence"? Because out of it flows what? The issues of life. So my issues are in that heart. You can't just be bouncing in and out of my issue because something might roll up out my mouth that you might not like. So I have to keep diligent over this
Mhm.
and over this.
I love it. What an awesome conversation. What an awesome
Mm.
conversation.
It's a start, and
It is.
we encourage every home,
Mhm.
husband, wife, single mother with children a little bit grown, let them understand there are seasons in everybody's life, but in the woman, it's so pronounced, and
It
there's
is.
so many of them, and emotionally, it impacts us. Okay, so I don't know who needs to hear this. Couples, go get the help you need. Get to the doctor. Find out what's going on. Going out to pursue other women, young girls, leaving your wife and calling her names and shaming her because you are not educated. You're destroying something you built over the years. You think I can't handle this anymore. Listen, you can go for a 16-year-old, she will grow. You know what? And when she grows, you'll be at an age where you need her to take care of you, and she's not gonna do it because the
Queen
same
Edith,
thing is
you are
going to come
preaching
over
today.
again. We just postpone situations. We can deal with it right here, right now. Lack of knowledge is destroying homes and families, and it's unnecessary. Very avoidable situations. So
And aren't we
start.
the foundation? That we are the family is the foundation. And the enemies of our lives is trying to tear down the foundation.
We will talk about marriage and divorce at some point. You
We
and I
have
will have
to.
that conversation because that's my passion. That's my calling. That's why I'm a marriage and family therapist. That's what I do. That's what I love. And I think we need to have these, Queen Glory, we will have to have these conversations because it's time. You see, the Bible talks about knowledge abounds, and yet we are not using the knowledge, applying them when it matters most.
And then the word says, God forbid, God forbid. If we don't tell the truth, God forbid. If we don't have the information, God forbid.
I look at social media, look at all these women and trying to get there. big bellies into these clothings, and I wear girdle. I'm a girdle girl, but I'm just saying that we are, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the fact that we're not ashamed anymore. People are not ashamed to say, "This is my jelly belly. This is who I am now. When I go out, I'm going to dress, I'm going to do my best to look my best." Okay, but at home, I'm not going to wear this at home all the time. Get used to this. Is it? This is not how you met me. This is the season of my life. Women are getting hurt and are dying on surgery tables, having surgeries to look like they were in their 20s,
You're
forgetting that
right.
there's so much more because we are ashamed of ourselves. Not anymore. Let's have these conversations. Let's become the best we can be with the best, with everything we have. But we are not dying for it. We are not dying for it. If we can be accepted as we are, working every day to become the very best versions of ourselves, then you don't deserve me.
Honestly.
Queen.
Because when you walk into a room, after 5 minutes being in a room with somebody, you almost can depict who they are. But I try to keep myself a mystery. Come out and seek me. That's the beauty, not letting it all hang out. The beauty is, come and see what I am. I want to know more about the inside of you, not just what's on the outside. And when you do that, actually, you save yourself and save those around you because you will not get into relationships or rooms that will ruin you.
Absolutely not.
And our young
Absolutely.
women are being ruined.
Because our
And after,
value is on what is on the outside more than what is on the inside. At least for some people, that's what it is. Okay, and so there is conversations needed that need to be had.
much,
Okay.
and your platform, this platform is a vital key. And so I commend you both. But yes, this was a good conversation today.
We
And I thank you
pulled
for
you.
having me
We
on the
pulled
platform
you
because I
here.
said I was gonna blow up that. I said, I'm blowing it up. I was like, you might as well pull me up because I am not gonna stop talking today. So I might as well come on in. Come on in. Plus I wanted to support y'all because you supported me and I appreciate what you did today. I
Thank
know it
you.
was hard and it was a tough decision. I said, Lord, give them back double for what they did today. So, yes. So I appreciate it. So I was like, I was the first one in the room. And I'm like, well, where y'all at?
Exactly.
Y'all done went on coffee break from the other Zoom. And I'm like,
Right?
but no, I didn't even know what what the topic was. So my mouth fell on the floor because I was just like, you're right in the vein. You're right in the vein.
Mhm.
And when we exposure brings closure, right? But also exposure brings knowledge, empowerment.
Mhm.
You can be empowered to be the best version of you no matter what season you're in.
Absolutely, yes.
I have a motto when people ask, how are you doing today? Some days I'll say, I need a nap and then wake up from the nap and go to bed because
Yeah,
I'm having one of those moments. And
You
then they'll stop them in
know.
the track and they'll say, that's it. I never had a key. That's the word for the day. Yes, because it it's the emotions.
Mhm.
And when you have
Abs-
an emotional day, just know, don't reach for the chocolate sometimes. Reach for the word of God. Reach for some worship. Reach for some meditation
mhm.
so that you can level yourself and give yourself grace. Amen.
Amen.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Queen Aunt.
Thank you for
Queen,
having me.
we're so glad you came on. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yes, yes, yes. I know we went over our time, you all. But you all, we were
Mhm.
late, but you all showed up. But like Queen Gloria said, it was for a good cause. And it's so amazing to be in healthy spaces with strong, healthy women. So make sure you are doing that for yourselves and your own lives. You know, connect with people that are building and helping you grow, and just know yourself and be true to yourself. In the comments before we go, and I'll let Queen Gloria give her final words. I'll let Queen Edith take us out. But I want to let you all know that there are 3 video links. Again, you all know I love Gaia. I'm gonna share my screen for just a split second. There's 3 video links in the comment section that you all can click on. And when I share those, it's only good for 3 days. So we've got one about there's one about menopause and hormone therapy. There's menopause diet and nutrition, and then there's a yoga menopause video. So they're about the first one's 28 minutes. There's one for 15, and then the yoga's for 28. So good information, good, clean, healthy information. If you want to click that link and watch that over the weekend, I know it's a holiday weekend, but it's good information. If you've got some downtime, turn off Netflix, turn off the junk, and watch something positive. You know, if you by chance do not get a chance to watch it and you want to see that, reach out to us and I'll send that video to you as well, so you can watch that. And then the last thing, definitely want to thank Queen Gloria for coming up. Make sure if you love the information she gave,
Oh,
grab that book, The Glory Carrier, A Prayer Journey. Grab that book. You can scan the QR code, or you can get it in the link. It's in the link in the comment section. So make sure you support her. The information she gave you, she gives you some powerful words, some, just go that journey with her. It's not a difficult read. It'll bless your soul. So grab that and support, support, support. Yes, support Be a Glow Ministries,
Yes.
support CME Ministries. You know, Queen Edith is church, bringing church to your home. So we've got 2 amazing pastoral counselors here, marriage and family counselors here. Great information. These are amazing queens to link up with and support and be supported by. Don't waste their time though. Yeah, don't waste my time either. But don't waste their time. You see the mission, you see the purpose, you see the gifts. Okay, so if you are looking to grow, if you need that support, so many answers, so many downloads we got here today, you know. And so I'm going through that perimenopause thing. So I'm looking like, okay, let's just vitamin E, eczema, cold. Let's just do, let's hit the door running and let's be great. Let's be the greatest we can be day by day. And we just take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. I love the naps. I always believe that people under 3 and over
The
30
nap just
need a
before the
nap
sleep.
by 3 o'clock. Okay. So get you a nap and get some rest. Check your diet, check your mind, check what you put in your body, both physically and emotionally,
yes.
and what you put out. So I will leave it with that. Queen Gloria, if you want to say your last words, and then Queen Edith, take us on out.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Last words is this: we talked about, give yourself grace, and then those 3 things that you talked about, those platforms that they can listen to. Also, if you're having an attitude problem, you need some attitude adjustments. Find some outlets to go smash something. There are places you can go. You can go smash something. You know what? I was making a reef one time, and I was just stabbing it. And I said, "Oh, this is good. This is good relief here." You know, find some outlets to let go, but don't let go on people all the time. Okay, that is not an outlet. And so, give yourself some grace. And okay, all right, glow and glow. Okay,
Glow
so
and
be a
glow.
glow in all you do. And all you do, do it to the glory of God. And do it for yourself first. You will be the best version to anybody else when you're the best version to yourself. Okay. And we stress a lot about self-care, but it is really essential. Because
Mhm.
guess what? You check out of here, they just gonna step over you and keep going. So why not allow yourself not to get stepped on? How about
Wow.
I
that? Okay.
love it.
Love
Thank,
y'all with the love of Christ. Thank you for having us. And
thank you so
we
much.
love you. And this was just awesome. Hey, I learned some things today. I hope I deposit some things today.
You
And
did.
let's just grow and glow together. All right.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Queen. Queen Edith.
Queen Gloria, you gave insights. You gave a real practical insights, and I think that this is a conversation we needed, and it was a good thing we waited because we had you. So thank you for jumping
Yes.
on. Thank you. We really, really appreciate it. And I will continue what you just said, giving yourself grace, and say this. And you also said don't put yourself in places where you're jumped on. In this season, in this situation, know your boundaries.
Yes.
Know your boundaries. Have healthy boundaries, because that's the only way you can keep, one of the major ways you can keep your sanity. Okay, have your boundaries. Know how to communicate. Don't be afraid to speak the truth in love. You can be
Love.
tactful about it, but speak it in love. No matter what, speak the truth in love. And be mindful what you're taking in also from people. Know what you're dishing out and what you're taking in. It's so important in the season. But it's an amazing season. My menopause years have been amazing for me. So we are just wanting you to know the symptoms and what it can do to you and what it can do for you, but also what you can do with it. I graduated at the age of 58 years old. I've been through menopause, and this was just less than, well, graduation was what, last week?
Ninth.
58 years old, serious menopause. So listen, there's a lot you can do with it, with menopause. So it's not negative, it's not wrong. It's just we need to have the knowledge and know how to adjust, make the
I
needed
just,
adjustments, so we win. We continue to walk as winners. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you.
love y'all.
Yes. Love
Mhm.
you. And thank you all. We wish you all peace, love, and blessings until next time. And we hope to have Queen Gloria back on soon, very soon. Thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in. Till next time, peace, love, and blessings.
Was
Bye bye.